Well, hello and welcome to Travels with Geordie. If this is your first visit, my name is Peter Knowles and I live on a classic wooden motor cruiser in Victoria, British Columbia, along with the loving memory of my pup, Geordie. Well, not this one though, because if you're following along, I'm currently cruising the British Columbia Gulf Islands aboard my friend's boat, MV Zephyrus. And well, where are we today? Well, we're on Newcastle Island in Nanaimo Harbor, up the coast a bit, and well, again, if you have been following along, you're going to say, Peter, you haven't got very far, and well, no, we haven't. We've been pushed back by some pretty serious wind the last several weeks, and we've been sort of bopping around the southern Gulf Islands, around Nanaimo and down to Ladysmith. And well, I guess by way of a bit of a real-time update, we're going to try and get north, in other words up into Desolation Sound and beyond in the next few days. There seems to be a bit of a gap in the weather, but in the meantime we're going to jump back in time to where we might have been here. I'm not even sure. No, back to Wallace Island, one of my favorite spots, and we'll wrap up that. See ya. Wallace Island and the southern Gulf Islands, British Columbia. So many cool things here. I just love it. And it's goodbye to Princess Inlet on Wallace Island. An absolutely delightful couple of days we spent here, and really one of our favorite spots on the whole coast. Anyway, time to head further north. See you. Well, we're on DeCourcy Island in a snug little harbor that has been arranged, and we're off to check the prawn traps again, which they dropped on the way in.
are huge.
And good morning. What a lovely evening we've had in this little inlet on Geordie Island as guests of a fellow wooden boat enthusiast, and just a fabulous spot, well sheltered. And today, we're not even quite sure where we're off to today. We have the classic issue of Wi-Fi or cellular access, which is getting a little sparser as we move north. Hello, Griffey boy. Well, folks, I've just been given a little tour down to the end of this inlet, and I don't know if you can see all these rocks. These are all oysters. Millions and millions and millions of oysters. Oh my God. I feel guilty walking on them. I've never seen anything like that. Can you see all the clams squirting? Oysters or clams, your pick. What an unbelievable place. Oh, what a spot. Here we are in Pirates Cove. Yes, Pirates Cove on Geordie Island in the Southern Gulf Islands. Snug little harbor. Really turned out to be a super spot. Well, good morning. It's sometime after 4 o'clock in the morning, and we've been holed up in a little hidey hole and behind Dunsmuir Island, actually fairly near Ladysmith, the last couple of days because it's been blowing stink on the whole Southern Gulf Islands. In fact, pretty much the entire Vancouver Island. So we're gonna make a run for it this morning. We have to leave really early because we have to catch slack tide at Narrows yet again. But we're gonna make a big push. We're gonna run all the way up and across the strait over to the mainland side, or at least close to Lasqueti Island or thereabouts. Anyway, we're bringing you along. About 2.5 knots of current. So we're moving pretty quick. I don't know if you can hear me. I got to show you a little bit of that. We got through Dodds, no problem, but we're not going to get any further north. It is, the wind came up and blew up quite quickly to some pretty big rollers. Well, so we're back in Nanaimo, but we won't go into town. We're going to end up in behind Newcastle Island here, which is another park. It's a nice spot. There's lots of boats here now, because it is 2 days before Canada Day, and I'm sure this place is going to be just ruckus for Canada Day, but that's fine. We'll be here, no doubt, because the forecast is several more days of stinking wind warnings. So, great, not a bad place to be. I kind of like this island. Let's pick up a mooring ball. Let's hope there's one. Well, it's a lovely spot. We're gonna have to be, I won't use the word marooned for another couple of days. It could be worse. Okay, well, in retrospect, I'm gonna have to say this is a beautiful place. And because it's such a delightful place, it's our first opportunity to take the bikes down and go for a bit of a tour around the island. You'll see we've moved to the dock. Well, it's so economical here. It's only a few dollars more than the ball and so much more convenient for the bikes and Griffin. All right, let's go. We don't get to ride these things too often. They're not the most efficient bikes in the world, but they just scoot along. Okay, apparently it's 8 kilometers or so around the island. This is how all fail videos start. Guy riding through the woods with one hand on a very flimsy bicycle. Well, this is an interesting opportunity. We're marooned at Newcastle Island for yet a couple more days because the wind is back up again. So we had a friend come and visit from Victoria overnight who flew here, have a private plane. And she said, well, as you're marooned, why don't you just come back down to Victoria for me and check on your boat and go to the butcher and the baker and the candlestick maker, and I'll fly you back up tomorrow. So I'm jet setting it for a little bit, or propeller setting it. Anyway, let's go. Okay, first step off the ferry. This is going to be one of those planes, trains, and automobiles days. Off the ferry and into the cab. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's gonna be fun. Nanaimo to Victoria in like 18 minutes. It's taking me 5 weeks to go the other way. And home again. Got tied up for a bit chatting with neighbors, but the boat's looking pretty ratty. Bright work time. But everything is sweet and dry and lovely aboard. It's pretty strange to see this big hole empty Zephyrus normally lives. It's windy, it's cold. I think an unexpected perk of this little trip is walk down to the pub, which I understand is open again. Well, I can tell you, it is very strange to be back at the home marina and back aboard MV Geordie. It's just surreal. I mean, it's not that I've been away that long. I mean, everyone's experienced such things, but it just really feels strange. Anyway, with no food aboard and not even a refrigerator, definitely the pub is the right idea. Well, this is very mysterious. This is my local. And with socially distanced seating, this is Canada Day. pretty much empty. Yeah. Anyway, a pint and a burger. I'm quite content. Cheers. Well, there's a culture shock. Just off that ferry. Back on Newcastle Island and back to MV Zephyrus. A little quieter around here than it was when I left. Not that this was much of a Canada day. Very strange. Well, how about that? We're back in Nanaimo, and that's to do a little bit of provisioning while we wait for the winds to settle up. Embarrassingly, we have a bit of holding tank odor issue. We're going to get into it in detail, but I think I know what it is. But what I wanted to show you was this pretty girl here, Catalyst. I have a feeling it's an American boat on its way to Alaska because it's being inspected here. Yes, those of you who are familiar with it will see over my shoulder a relatively large spool of sanitation hose, 1.5-inch sanitation hose. So yes, the hose that we were advised to use some years ago has, well, it's kind of seeping, and a quick rub with a paper towel across it is not very pleasant, which explains the not very pleasant odor in the boat. So quick stop to replace all the sanitation hose. If you're familiar with Trident Premium, this is not cheap stuff, but worth every penny. Cheers! Alright then, in the middle of editing a video, we're going to move back off the dock in Nanaimo and head back over to Newcastle Island and pick up a ball for the night. Okay, poor man's bow thrusters. Pick up that ball right there. And we're done for the night. Well, hello there and welcome to the Beer of the Week. We are in rainy Nanaimo Harbor on a mooring ball at Newcastle Island, and we've been here a while. In fact, I was just thinking, I think this is our third beer of the week we've shot here. Anyway, just a quick one, but we do have a very interesting beer from White Sails Brewery here in Nanaimo. It's Great Circle. No, it's not. It's Circle Root. When I first when the owner of Zephyrus showed it to me, I imagined the Great Circle, the route across the Atlantic, but no, it's actually the circle route between southern Vancouver Island and the Sunshine Coast. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but starting down here at the bottom, well, that's Victoria under my finger, up Saanich Peninsula, and these are all the Southern Gulf Islands, and that's the ferry route over to Vancouver. And we're up here in Nanaimo right now. So you have the entire map of our recent cruise. And we want to go way up here. Hey, let's get drinking. Okay,
A little jogger.
it's a hazy IPA, of course. Yes, it's true. We're a little fond of them. This hazy IPA has just spent an hour or so in the freezer, and I've done another one of my brilliant pours. So stand by while we let this settle out a bit, and we'll rejoin our regularly scheduled programming. And just like that, we're back with 2 drinkable pours. All right, well, this is the big cheers, and I'll tell you why. The owner of Zephyrus has, in the last interlude, agreed to a new moniker. The term Lady Zephyrus will henceforth be used for the owner of Zephyrus. So, Lady Zephyrus, cheers to you.
Cheers.
It's a hazy IPA, so I love it.
It's good.
It's not bad, eh?
Yeah.
And what a neat can.
Good summer beer.
It's
now we just need summer.
We just need summer, which we definitely don't have. Okay, well, back to real time. We've been holed up in Nanaimo and whereabouts for quite a while, 10 days or so, trying to get across the strait where there's been some severe winds. So we're going to make a run for it tomorrow. Things look pretty good. Tomorrow being today that you're watching it, which is, of course, July 4th. So to our friends south of the border, happy July 4th to you all. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers. And if you haven't already guessed, the word of the week will be circle. What are you going to do with that? I don't know, but you know what to do with it. Cheers. See you next week. Circle.